Afternoon. It's Friday the 23rd of September. It's Friday evening. Came up to the allotment after we finished work. And this is another harvest. Tomatoes and chilies in there. And then in this bag we've got aubergines coming out of our ears, cucumbers, sweet peppers, and that bag is just full of those. So it's coming to that time of year now, guys, and what I've done is I've cut off all of the tomato plants right at the root, at the bottom, and we've just cut the trusses off that was left and hung all of the tomatoes up to dry, or ripen I should say, on both sides. And this is how I finish the crops off. I just hang them up on the wire, on the straining wire that we use to support them all in the first place. So we just hang all the trusses, we clip the trusses back and just literally flip them over sort of like that between the wire, as you can see there. And we just do that with them all and leave them up there to finish ripening. Now some of these you can see are red. They're not fully ripe, but we've got more than enough in that bag to keep us going. So now you'll see all these are cut off at the root, ready for the clean up. We've hacked the aubergines right back. I'm unsure whether I'm going to put these in pots and overwinter them. These are grafted aubergines. We've chopped them right back, but they just keep coming and coming and coming even when I cut them back. So I'm thinking I might overwinter these. I don't know yet, or at least one. So that's a start anyways. It's another jobbed, and of course we'll be thinning this grapevine out and keeping the leaders that we want and disposing of any that we don't, and cutting this back for winter as well. It's starting to die back now anyways. Right, it's just a very quick update in here to show that we're starting to run down. I've had the best harvest out of this polytunnel this year, and you can see how many plants I've had in these two little beds, and the amount of crops we've had off them has been unbelievable. But that's all due to the several bags of well rotted cow manure we put straight on top and planted into. So we put, I think it was 3 or 4 bags of well rotted cow manure on the top of this bed, and then we planted straight into it, and we've done the same exactly with this. And it's sustained all of these plants and all of the flowers in between, and there's still plenty of nutrients in there, but we will give this another dress over before we put our next crop in. But they'll only get a little thin dressing, maybe 1 bag scattered over each of the beds. So I'll just come over to do a quick check and see if the cabbages have taken okay. We have had a massive pour down on Thursday, and it's really bedded these in, and they've really got established. And I can't believe with that rainpour just how well the cauliflowers came on. And as you can see, we've got one for Sunday. So I've got that one now because that's just a nice size, and I don't want to lose them all. So I'm going to be taking out all of these radish now as well, and then store them. And there is other collies in here, and I've just been breaking the leaves on them now because they're starting to really fill out, and I'm just breaking the leaves. I don't know if you can see this or not. No, it's not working, but I'm breaking the leaves over the heads. There it is, just in the back under that leaf, and covering over the cauliflower heads. And I'll have to keep an eye on them now that they're growing this quick. I'm going to have to keep an eye on them pretty much daily, just to make sure they don't blow on me and get them before they do blow. Just another little success story. Not the biggest, but it's another harvest. If we hadn't put them in, we wouldn't have had them. Just to finish off the harvest, we've got 4 nice lettuces as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 nice little lettuces, and there's our cauliflower as well. And these 2 bags weigh a ton. But hey, I'm not complaining. That's what we do this for. Just a little update on the seeds as well. So these are the next lot of Calabrese coming on nicely. These are the Primo 2 cabbages we planted in the last video. They're up already. Happy days. I want some of those in the polytunnel. And I'll put a few outside as well. But we'll get the pellets down. I've now got one variety of lettuce at least trying, which is good because we're starting to use that. I've got some college snowball just starting to come through, and there's one or two of the little dwarf kales just starting as well. But there's plenty of time for those, but I'll probably look to start potting these up over the weekend, but I don't know, we'll let a few more come first. Don't want to disturb them until they're up. I want as many of them as I can. They are lovely cabbages, those. Absolutely beautiful. The nicest cabbage I've ever tasted, but that's everybody's different and everybody's preference. But these, to me, are amazing. I do like cabbages in all varieties, but these are the best I've had. And that's why I'm trying to get some more in the polytunnel and see if we can get them up in the polytunnel undercover. Morning. Saturday morning. Back up the allotment, and today's task is getting the chicken shed cleaned out. So we've got some brown and nitrogen for the compost bin. So we've already cleaned all the nest boxes out. Fresh straw, give them a good scrub and a brush out, and fresh straw in there. That's what takes the longest time, but that's all sorted now. Cleaned off all the rubber matting off the top. We just take it off and scrape it off, put it back. So, because they always walk across here and it just builds up. Whereas if you use the rubber mat, I can just take it off, put it on the floor, give it a scrape and put it back. So you'll also notice that these are the perches, and I've got them screwed up to the roof, and these just swing down on screws, which are screwed into blocks there. And I made these myself, and as you can see there's plenty of perching space for more than, there's easy enough in here for 50 hens in the size of the shed, but I think I have about 19 hens or something like that. It's enough. But as you can see, we've got all this lovely material to be bagged up, ready for the compost bins. Now we only clean the hens out about once every 6 months, and this is their winter clean out, if you will. This will be cleaned out now, and 3 to 4 bags of shavings put in, that deep, and it's basically a deep litter system. And as the birds mess in it, they scrat through it and the shavings dry it up. And as you can see, this has been down 6 months. There's no wet patches. The birds are perfectly healthy, and the entire front is open with fresh air coming in at the top and the bottom. There's only a middle section blocked off with the nest boxes, and air just blows through here all day and night and keeps all of this bone dry. If you didn't have it bone dry, you would have a problem, but as long as you keep it dry like this, there is no problem. Great composting material. Right, there we have it, all cleaned out, ready to go. So we'll get the new shavings in here now. And there we have it. Mission accomplished. All cleaned out, and we're good for another 3 to 6 months depending. And what we do is as it starts to get a little bit, as it starts to get a little bit grubby, there's 2 full bags in here. It's probably about that thick at the time, at the moment. But what we do is it starts to get a bit grubby, we just throw another 2, 3 bags in here, and then we rake it over periodically so that the wet stuff it all gets dried off with the wood chip and just starts decomposing. So we've got a lot of good material for over in the compost heap. I think that's going to be the next job. Moving swiftly on, we've now got all of this lined with the plastic that we used to cover the boards for the polytunnel. And as you can see, we've got this line. This one's taller but narrower, but this is only going to be the weed one. So the first thing we want in the bottom of here is some browns, wood chips and things like that, to keep the brumbling off the ground so that it dries out properly, or rather sweats down but can't take root. So we'll get a crack on and get that sorted. Oh, before we do, I'll just show you what we got out of the chicken shed. So these are the bags out of the chicken shed. There's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we've already used 2 in here. I've made a start on this, so we've put the browns on the bottom. You can maybe just see there, yeah. As you can see, there's browns on the bottom, and then I started throwing some greens on here as well. But then I've moved on to that one because I've took all the brumbling out. And I'm still in 2 minds whether to mulch that up with the lawnmower or not. And I'm thinking I probably will, actually. You probably notice as well, I've lined this gate again because the compost actually breaks down better when it's completely black and sealed. It sweats it out better. And we can just show you. It stops this. So you can see this compost is really good on down here. And we've got about, I don't know, a quarter of a pallet bare, quarter of a ton or something like that. But you can see where there's daylight, any weeds that was down there will try and come through these gaps. Plus it'll rot this wood, so I'm going to line this again as well. So we're doing it the hard way. A bit at a time in the barrow and cutting it up. In here we've already, this on top here now is weeds that were put into these plastic bags, folded over and left to sweat down. And it's already starting to make compost, as you can see. So let's get cracking. So we've steadily been chopping away at this on the ground, filling the barrow up. We're getting there now, guys. So what we're doing is we've chopped it up, we've put it in here, and now we've put 2 bags of chicken manure with straw and wood chip on top of it, and now we're going to water it in, give it a good soaking and start again. Right, that was a productive day. A great big job of getting the hens cleaned out, but at least that's another big job done. And the only last big job was turning the compost. So we've managed to achieve that just today, so tomorrow, whatever the weather, we should hopefully be a little bit leisurely. So we've got all of the weeds in here. So of course this isn't just weeds. There is chicken manure and there is wood chips, browns, bits of cardboard, etc. Now we might need to leave this one a lot longer to break down, but that's fine, we don't mind that. Now tomorrow, if the weather's fine, what we're going to do now is we'll get the grass cut again, and we'll get a load of green grass on here to really heat this up, and then top layer it with some more chicken manure and wood chips, and then we'll cover it over and sweat it out. And you can see we've got a quarter of a bin in here again already. So we started with a couple of bags of chicken manure stroke wood chip. There was a bit of greenery in there, so we mixed it together, and then we put all of the greenery off the top of this compost bin in here, and this compost is almost ready, as you can see. And this is only the top, so it's going to be even better underneath. So what we've done is we've inoculated this one, as you can see. I've threw a bit of this compost here into this one as well to inoculate it and get it started. And again, how did that get in there? It's a bit of plastic. So what we'll do is we'll get a lot of grass clippings on here as well to get the heat up in here as well. And then more chicken manure stroke wood chips, brown and dry materials, and get this one on the go. But I'm looking in here and I've possibly got, I'm going to say half a cubic ton, and perhaps 3/4. Maybe have to take the top layer off again and just inoculate that. I might even put a little bit in on top of the weeds. I know you might think that's a waste, but well, I'm trying to make a usable compost out of the weeds if I can, so we want to add something else. But what we will do is when we do come to use that, as I say, we might use that, leave that one a bit longer, but when we do come to use it, we will use it only on something like this initially to see what happens. If we get a glut of weeds, then we know it's no good and we can leave it longer to rot down or whatever. But if it's usable and works as a good mulch, then we'll use it. So, happy days. I've had enough now, guys. It's nearly 6 p.m. again in the evening.